Right, so weird that Georgia Southern's their women's rifle team is like...
Rifle team?
They have a rifle team, and they're like one of the best in the
W
nation.
card. I didn't have that card. W card. Look at that. Out of the pack.
W Rios.
Which then, if he runs a good time at Raleigh, which he will, then he'll get into an even better race at Brian Clay. I'm calling my shot right here. Avery will be breaking 14 at Brian Clay.
So track is looking great.
Yeah.
Obviously. So that I guess brings up the question: when will we be getting a track? In a perfect world, I had a private jet that I could go on Friday and then be in Columbus by Saturday at 12. But
we'll get on that.
The problem is, why in the world are we opening the greatest sport in America in Japan?
Right now.
I don't know if you know this. There's a guy that plays for the Dodgers whose name is Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Oh,
really? I never heard of him.
Who is Jesus of Japan. There's a guy that plays for the Dodgers whose name is Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. Oh, really? I never heard of him.
Who is Jesus of Japan.
Hello, everybody. This is Justin Gray, sports editor for the Bell Ringer and communication major at Augusta University with another edition of the Sports Squad from Bell Ringer Phoenix Media. On this edition of the Sports Squad, we will discuss the men's basketball team's upcoming NCAA tournament game, the track team's big weekend in Columbia, and the spring sports roundup away from AU. We will talk Division I college conference tournaments and the Major League Baseball. Our panel includes cross-country runners Avery, Jaynes, and Patrick Motes. Also, AU baseball player Ben Haynes. Welcome in, everyone.
Top of the morning.
Good to be here.
So, how's everybody doing?
Dude, I'm cooked.
Good.
You said that.
Why are you cooked?
We ran a lot yesterday. But it's okay. It was a good thing. But I'm happy. We're here on the Sports Squad today. My guys can talk sports.
I mean, what is a lot? Because
I ran a lot yesterday too, but a lot less than you ran.
Okay, we were knocking on the door of 20 miles.
I think I had
More power to you.
19.6 on the day.
Yeah.
19.6?
Something like that.
Yeah. That's
You
what
guys
we're
are
at.
some maniacs.
And weights.
And weights. And y'all would do it all again today, or like...
Dude, if we had to run another 20
You
miles
off
today?
day today?
Y'all don't get off days, do you?
No, we get off days on Sundays.
We got an easy run.
You're going to run like 3 miles today?
I've already ran over that this
today.
morning. And then we got to run again.
So we've got another roughly 7 later?
Yeah.
Roughly.
7 miles.
Okay, you don't have to say that so
We're not trying to be...
nonchalant. Like, you got another 7 miles to run later.
Trust me, I wish I could just go home and just sleep the rest of the afternoon away.
And we'll
How
start
are you
off
doing,
with-
Justin? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Going to Columbus this weekend
Did you
by
make
myself.
that face because you're going to sleep later
No,
today?
no. I
Justin's
thought that's
got-
what Patrick was implying. I
kind of did too. I thought he was.
No, that's not targeted you in any way. Like I genuinely believe. Like I wish.
Looked targeted.
It's not
Yeah,
targeted
get
in
on
any
that.
way.
I'm good. I'm going to Columbus this weekend. I do have to drive 3.5 hours by myself, so that's not fun, but it'll be a good time. And I'll be going to watch the Jags play. They take on Lenore Ryan on Saturday. And if they win, they'll play the winner of Aiken and Catawba on Sunday. And then if they win that one, they play the winner out of the other side on Tuesday. So could be a big weekend for the Jags. Lenore Ryan's 25-6 on the season. We talked about it on the Dip Show on Monday. They're pretty loaded. A combination of two teams, Eastern New Mexico and Lenore Ryan's best players. So, because the new coach come in and brought all his guys with him, so they're really loaded, and they're the South Atlantic champs. So it's going to be an uphill battle for the Jags.
I like the Jags' odds.
I do. I feel good about it. I'm
they got
usually
something-
not confident.
They
like,
got something
this
to prove.
confident.
They kind of got knocked around by UNG, and I think that they kind of just set them up. I think they're ready. I think minimally, they're definitely going to go first 2 rounds. Minimally.
I think they can win game 1. Aiken's going to be tough in game 2. I like the fact that they don't play a PBC team. I'd much rather play a South Atlantic team or a Conference Carolinas team, just because those two conferences are not near as tough. as the PVC, and it's kind of crazy that the SAC got 4 teams in, but they just did good enough to have guys on the bubble. I think Beaufort would have made it had they been eligible. So I think PVC should have got 4 in had it been a regular year. But yeah, so tune into that. You have to pay, so that kind of sucks. But that's at 12 o'clock on Saturday. So the first game of the entire tournament.
All right.
So that'll be
What
awesome.
time is that? 11?
12.
12?
12 here, and then obviously at the West Coast it would be 3 when they get going. So
Yeah.
first action of the day. Maybe the Jags can pull it off. We'll move on to track and field. You guys, big weekend Columbia. A lot of stuff went down. How did you guys feel about your race?
I felt okay about mine. It wasn't the greatest. Had some stuff.
What'd you finish?
What time did I run, or where did I finish? Like I finished like
Either
ninth.
one.
I finished ninth. This boy went off.
So he comes to the
I
game
felt
on
good.
Saturday. He comes to the game on Saturday, and he says, "Yeah, I wound up finishing the race." And I said, "You win?" He said, "Yeah," and just went back and sat back on his golf cart like it was nothing.
Let me go
Driving
ahead
around his
and let me just go ahead and break this down for you.
What'd you run?
This man is an animal, because his job was to pace us for 9:20 through
I
the
knew
2
that
mile.
wasn't happening when
No,
he
I knew
said
he was
it on
finishing the
pod.
race
I
too.
was supposed-
I knew
this
that wasn't
man,
happening.
this man was like, "Yeah, we'll see. I think I'm like, nah, he's gonna finish this race." This man gets out there, does 3 by mile before the race even starts at like 5:30 average. Gets in the race, starts averaging 4:30 a mile. It gets us through like roughly around 9:20, and then he just keeps going and going. Finishes the 5K in 14:30. And then goes back afterwards and does a couple more miles at like 5:30 pace.
Yeah, he's a dog.
So how fast is
Good dog.
14:30? What's your fastest 5K?
PR is 14:23, so I was pretty happy that first 5K of
So
the
you-
season after doing a workout before the race.
Mind you, he
I
ran
was
that
able to run that.
14:23 at like the second Georgia Tech meet last year, so that was in like mid-April or like April.
So what's
I was
your
pretty happy.
goal for a time for 5K this
Are you
year?
gonna
If I can get
14?
into Raleigh is hopefully the next race. I have to see if I get in for that because you have to like be let in. So if I get into there, there's a really good chance that I could be put in a pretty decent heat to where I could try and go like 14. I'd be happy with 14 O's, but
So why does the heat matter if you're going
less
14
work for me to do. When it comes to
Are you talking
running,
like you're drafting like NASCAR?
Yeah. And that's
Really?
when it comes to
That's
running,
awesome.
if you can just sit on somebody, it takes like the mental game and you just kind of just turn your brain off
NASCAR
and run.
That's pretty cool.
So if I can get into a heat with a bunch of guys that are trying
Catch
to
a
go,
draft.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and
Well,
just
then
follow
You
them.
don't have to get that rough air in your face.
No,
That's pretty cool.
No, it won't mess his hair up either. He's gonna be ready to go. Nah,
Avery's hair is never messed up.
It's
It
really
was
not.
windy as it gets on Saturday, and his hair never moved.
no.
Don't understand it.
The good thing though is for him is so that if he gets into Raleigh and runs really fast there, he's gonna have a meet out in California this year, Brian Clay, which is like the premier track meet. Which then, if he runs a good time at Raleigh, which he will, then he'll get into an even better race out in Brian Clay. I'm calling my shot right here. Avery will be breaking 14 at Brian Clay.
I hope so.
I mean, you ran 14:30. What sounds like you didn't care too much. Like you just went out there and did it.
It felt
So, I
very
mean,
smooth. Yeah, it
I mean,
did feel very smooth.
I mean,
Without any draft too.
I didn't realize like when he said that Saturday how good he ran. I didn't look into it yet.
No, it's
But
insane.
He literally just acts like it's no big deal, and then he when you break school records, I guess you just sit around and on your Augusta University golf cart and drive around.
So how many miles did you run before the race?
I did a warm up, so we do 12:22, so 12 minutes, and then 2 minutes fast, and then 2 minutes slow. So that's like 2 miles, a little over 2 miles.
So you're gonna do that every time before you.
No.
Oh, okay.
no.
Is that the secret
I don't know
sauce
if you were,
now?
like,
To just do a
superstitious.
I
workout
do
for
not
every
want
race?
to do that before a big race. No,
You said
normally
it
we
was
just
smooth.
do easy run, like a 12:22, and that's it. So we normally don't do a workout, but I was training through that week, so
So
I did like a double on Tuesday, and it was just like a normal training block for
So
me.
then, yeah, before you even got on the line, you had like 5 miles under your belt.
No.
Got on the line,
That's
did
absurd.
another 3. So that's 8. Did how many miles? You did the 2 miles after
3.
the race, or you did 3?
Let me do 3.
So you were at 11, and then
Let me do 3 miles. That's the wildest thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
so he's at 11 plus the 8-minute cooldown and got a round a mile, and so he's sitting at 12 miles. And a quarter of that was, God dang, Avery, you're so good.
I knew you were not going to just pace the race.
I mean,
you
to be
just got too much
fair-
competitor in you to do that.
I don't know. To be fair, we got with a mile to go. I'm running by coach, and I was like, a part of me was like, I paced him through 2 miles. I'm good here. And coach looks at me, he's like, stay in. I'm like, okay. And now I don't have a choice.
I guess.
He didn't need much of convincing there. So last year when y'all went down to Embry-Riddle, there was this competition between you and this guy, right? Like, I had to bring it back up. So that's coming up. When is that? Like the start of May?
I don't think he's racing
He's
anymore.
not.
Oh, he's not racing.
He's grad transferring to another school.
Avery has done.
He's
knocked him
running
out
scared.
Of the Peachfield
He's running
Conference.
scared from him. He knows.
Jeez, that man Avery.
BTA. He wants no part of that.
So yeah, that's no more, I guess.
Dang, you gonna have to find somebody else. Maybe Patrick. You guys can just compete and stick your tongue at each other while you're running down the track. Did want to talk about Mitchell Jean Baptiste.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who set the met the provisional mark. Is that the best way to say that?
That's
The provisional mark is in meters is 1.96, right?
Yes, 1.96 or 6.5.
In the high jump.
6.5.
In high jump,
Which
yeah.
is he's jumping over a bar for people that don't know what high jump is, basically.
So he jumped 2.05 and then 6.8, you said.
Yeah.
This is second all time in school history or in program history. So congrats to him. And then in the women's long jump, Madison Mills jumped 5.38 meters, which is the school record. So
Nice.
lots of things being done. So tell us a little bit. We talked about it before the show. What the provisional marks mean in Division II or in track rather than cross country, and then tell us what the path looks like for him for here on out.
So provisional for track is basically like a standard set, either time or length or distance or whatever you want to say, to go to nationals. And the way it works is you can get a provisional, but that's not necessarily a guarantee to go. It's based off of performance. So if there's if they let 15 people in the nationals and there's 15 people that are better than you, they still go to nationals even though you have a provisional. A provisional is just basically a base time where if no one else is, if there's not a certain number ahead of you that's better, you go. So it's basically an automatic bid unless other people are ahead of you. And it looks like when we were talking about it before, I looked up some of the previous results, and it seems like he has a pretty good shot of making it with a 6.8, and it's just second meet of the season.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of time to improve and get even higher. So
Yeah.
So
it's looking pretty good.
What's the provisional time for the 5K?
Is it? I don't even know.
He doesn't
honestly.
usually run the 5K, right? In regular meets, or he does?
I do. 10K is like my main focus.
10K. I knew he ran the 10K.
But
What's the 10K provisional?
He'll mess around every once in a while and run the
Provisionals,
5K.
I
Sprinkle
think
in there
dabble in
and win it.
Yeah.
provisional's what, 30?
It's like 30 something.
30
Because you got it last year, right?
Yeah, it went down a little, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like 30 something or 30 like teens.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
The difference, though, is that the 5K and 10K is very deep. And so, like, he's going to have, like, for that, I don't know. I'm thinking he's probably going to have to go around 29.40s to even sniff a chance, right?
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
it would.
What about 15 or the 5K? You had to run like a 14.
5K, if I want like a guaranteed spot, it would probably have to be like 1340.
Oh wow,
1350.
That's fast.
10K for like a guaranteed spot would probably be like 29 flat.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's like the two that are like just have the deepest competition because so many people run it.
And distance
So-
events as a whole is just getting better and better by the hour.
But those are the goals, I guess.
But there is
go and try for it. Might as well.
But to go back to your question, there is no such thing as a provisional in cross country.
Yes.
It's just strictly team oriented.
So, but there is something because your girlfriend got it. What was it called?
You can get an individual. So at regionals, our thing goes conference, regionals, nationals, and at regionals, if you were a top 2 individuals that aren't on a team that qualified, go.
Yeah.
So it's based on placement.
Maybe it was track and field last year that she got the provisional.
She got the provisional last year.
Okay, so that's what I remember.
She'll get it again this year.
Okay.
She'll get it
I knew
again
there
this
was
year.
something. I just couldn't remember which side of things it was.
Yeah, she got the provisional last year.
So track is looking great.
Yeah.
Obviously. So that I guess brings up the question: when will we be getting a track? Is there any more words on that as far as
not that we've heard? I know that they have money set aside already.
You're sure of that? Or
I have been told that there's
a
money
lot of
set
rumors
aside.
floating around.
They just don't have all of it. They want to actually make a viable track, like a nice facilities, locker rooms, everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they have a lot of money set aside, and they're just trying to source the last little bit that they need. How long that'll take,
What
if
land are
that's
they
true,
using?
I don't know. It's supposed to be by
UV.
UV in the
some
aquatic
field.
center.
Yeah, there's some field down there.
I think it's the
by
old golf course that's
Yeah.
around there. They're gonna turn that into a big
a complex.
complex. Yeah.
Because the goal for them is they want to host as well, not just
Wrightsboro Road Track Complex.
Not our first choice for a location, but it also doesn't matter for us. So
Yep, I
I
ain't
think
seen
there's no
it.
better location. Tennis centers up there. All the athletic stuff's there.
yeah,
There's a couple of places that we've scouted out on runs that
You could
there's
walk
plenty
over
of
there
room.
from Christenberry.
I'm not walking across that road. That's like suicide.
it's good to hear.
They do
It's good
have
to hear.
need to put dorms on the Christenberry campus or
Yeah.
Forest Hills campus.
That's the other thing too that I keep thinking about is like they need to keep building. Like they would have built dorms here in Somerville already, but because of the height restrictions, they won't. Because
Airport.
of the
It would
airport
just
and all
do a
that,
lot
yeah.
better for the sports. Like students would come out if they lived right beside it, and now they have to.
Well, I feel like if they made dorms, it'd be like athletic dorms, probably.
Probably.
That's
That
what
would
it is.
still have people closer though.
But we have a lot of athletes that you can come to the baseball game because they don't play baseball; they play other sports.
Yeah.
So you could still get better crowds that way.
Yeah, it would be smart.
New weight room, like getting close to being done.
that's almost done.
How far is almost done?
I
I saw they laid the blue turf.
They have the floor done.
It looks like they just have to set up all the equipment pretty
Yeah.
much.
So
They
are
gotta
not
get, like-
closing
Set
that
that junk-
completely off.
I mean, there's walls.
yeah, there's walls.
Yeah, but there's like a slip in the top that you can hear it, right?
oh yeah,
you're
you'll
gonna
be able to
it.
hear everything.
Okay.
You just won't be able to see
I didn't
it.
know that's what they were doing.
You'll just
back
hear
there.
music and clanking.
Yeah, but see, like, what if you want to work out like that during like a basketball game? Then you have to turn
Well, I
off the
just don't think
music.
they're going to schedule weights during basketball games.
Yeah, I assume they'll block that, which
Or they'll
will
just
be a little
Or the,
frustrating.
And
if you do, you
volleyball.
got to go downstairs and use the small weight
That
room.
might mess up at least cross
They
country
already have,
because we sometimes do weights and stuff like
They'll
that.
just
during
tell Bird and me, you're
basketball.
going downstairs.
Yeah, they might just
They
use
already have the
downstairs.
weights for it.
Yeah,
Like
they've bought
custom
everything.
weights.
Isn't
had
it
to-
like sitting in some storage container?
The baseball team had to carry all the weights into a storage room downstairs at Christenberry. And we have to carry them back up. But I think they're waiting for like the squat racks and stuff and bars.
okay.
And
It's
stuff like
pretty
that.
much almost done.
Yeah, it is. It looks good too.
Yeah, it does
Well,
look
that's
good.
awesome.
Navy turf.
And Christenberry is
Custom
almost
logos.
done completely. Pretty close.
It's
They
almost
had
done.
told Dip they were not going to be here come March 1st. No, that's true. They're still here, but
Man, that's construction, dude.
They're close. They basically have
Yeah.
everything done except for the entrance.
Yeah.
the entrance is.
It'll be
the last
awesome to
thing
get that done and then not have to walk a mile from the baseball field to get into Christenberry.
You guys got to walk down by where our coach's office is. It's a
Yeah.
hike.
When do y'all? Or we'll talk about baseball in a minute. So we'll go on to spring sports. Just a complete wrap up, and then we'll rehash it right after. Baseball, you guys got swept by Lander, but offensively played really well. Softball took 1 out of 3 against Flagler. Men's golf finished 3rd in the Seminole Intercollegiate. We'll talk about that in a second. Women's golf will host the Valspar Invitational this Saturday and Sunday. Men's and women's tennis played Lenore Ryan last Wednesday and won. And then men's tennis lost to Georgia College yesterday. We were ranked 37th. They were ranked 50th. I have no idea how high the rankings go up, but that is high numbers. Didn't think, but that's tennis. Women's tennis plays Georgia College tomorrow in Millersville if you feel like going. We'll talk about baseball for a second. You guys swept, but it was probably, at the plate at least, your best series this year. How frustrating is that, to play that well, and especially game one? That was the one that got away, and you feel like the tone of the entire series is different should you close that one out.
Yeah, I've pretty gut-wrenching as a team, considering, Lander's probably going to finish, I would say, top 3 in the Peach Belt. And you definitely left one on the table on Friday, up 8-3 going into the 8th inning. Goes to extras, can't find a way to get a win on Friday, and then kind of the same story on Saturday. We couldn't put together a big offensive inning followed by a big 0 on defense, which is what you always want to try to do. If you put up a 4 spot, you want to the next half inning throw a 0. Weren't able to do that, so 18-14. And then after that, that game Saturday lasted 4 hours, over 4 hours. Probably the longest game I've been involved in college or in baseball in general. And then Saturday just didn't have enough late. Didn't score enough runs late. Didn't play good enough defense and gave up too many runs late. Friday and Saturday. It just hurts because we're kind of searching for wins right now. It felt like we had 2 this weekend, a chance to win a series against a team that's going to finish towards the top of the conference. Really good pitching staff. And just couldn't get it done. So I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's baseball. We got a big series this weekend against Claflin. Obviously, we're still in control of our own destiny to make the conference tournament. 2 teams don't make it. And so we have to beat Claflin, preferably sweep Claflin in order to try and ensure that spot. And then we kind of have some time off. We don't have a series that next weekend, so kind of got to empty the tank here. We go to Belmont Abbey next Wednesday, and then we're going to play Beaufort in a series that doesn't count towards conference record that weekend. And then the weekend after that, we got Francis Marion. We have Aiken at SRP on a Wednesday, and then we get right back into conference play. So very crucial series for us this weekend, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, I wish you guys would play some more home games because some people have to make money off the play-by-play. But anyways, we'll move over to the softball team who, same kind of story as the baseball team, had a chance to take 2 out of 3 versus a really, really good Flagler team who had only lost 3 games since the first weekend of the year. They took the middle game. Madeline Spinks was phenomenal on the mound. She mixes it up better than anybody I've ever seen on the softball field. And then on Sunday, they just couldn't. They can't score. That's been the problem in conference play. They've scored 7 runs through 6 conference games. They scored 5 runs in 3 games against Flagler. All of them came in 1 inning. Like, they didn't spread it out. Like, they scored 2, 2, and 1. So 3 innings over 21 innings did they score.
And that's been their strong suit in non-conference play, is putting up a lot of runs. You get shut out twice at Southwestern, and then been tough to find runs. The pitching staff's done well, aside from a 12 spot against Georgia Southwestern, and then 9 on Saturday morning against Flagler. They're kind of like us. They're searching.
That's just the hard part is, like this past weekend against Flagler, one of the worst pitching staffs in the conference in Flagler, but they have one of the best offenses. So you want to get into, a shootout would be ideal, but just can't score. And the pitching staff, to hold that offense down, is great. But just can't get runs across. They're doing as much as, trying to bunt with Bailey Roberts, bunting with Cadence Winder, just trying to move runners up, trying to get runners in. Just have not been successful in that. They switched the order up a little bit, went to Poff in the leadoff spot, moved Howard back to the 2 hole. Just it's been a struggle at the plate.
It's a really tough conference, and that's in any sport, but that's different when you play non-conference versus when you get into Peach Belt play, just because you don't get a weekend off. So hopefully they can turn it around a little bit, get some wins against Columbus this weekend.
So did Landers Ace wind up not throwing in that series?
No, he threw on Friday.
Oh, the lefty was there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were Friday and Saturday guys were lefties.
Okay, I thought he was the 2.
Is it harder to hit off a lefty than a righty?
Depends on if you're a righty or a lefty.
Okay.
It just depends on the
I
matchup.
wanted to ask you. I noticed in the booth it drove me crazy. When that lefty would pick off did y'all pick up on it? When he would pick off to first, he had a entirely different than when he was going to the plate. Like most lefties can. He changed up his entire thing. You knew he was going to first.
Yeah.
It just drove me crazy watching someone do that. I can't stand that. It just makes my skin crawl when you're a great pitcher and you don't have any good pickoff move.
Yeah.
But anyways, anybody going out to the women's golf tournament this weekend over at Forest Hills?
I mean, I guess it'd be
Maybe.
fun to watch.
Maybe.
That's
I
a
would.
nice.
I'll
It's
be
a
going.
nice
course.
It's
Yeah.
a nice course. I've
It is not.
played there once.
They must be. I'm assuming they finally got all the debris up from the hurricane.
It's been busy.
It's been out for a while.
People have been out there a lot, so
and I'm
I
sure
guess
they got it ready
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
tournament. This is their thing.
It's Saturday, Sunday, right?
It is Saturday, Sunday. And then when is the men? They host one too here.
That's
That's got to be. It's like the weekend after the Masters.
I think
isn't
they
it?
do something like that. If I
can
remember
tell you.
correctly.
Yes. So it's the weekend before the Masters.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
So they'll host that April 5th and 6th. We'll talk about that later on. The Augusta Haskins Award Invitational. But they finished third at the Seminole Collegiate this weekend, which is a pretty big tournament with some really good teams. Florida State won the tournament. In case you don't know, Florida State has I don't know if he's playing. I could check up on that. Sorry. But Luke Clanton, who just got his tour card,
I was about to
is
say,
from
yeah,
Florida
yeah.
State. He's a junior at Florida State. I would assume he didn't play in this tournament, being that he just played in the PGA Tour last weekend. But he may have.
Either way,
Can you find the website for that? Sorry. Yeah, the Jags finished third, tied for third with North Alabama
Luke
at
Clanton
6
played in
under.
it.
He did? Did he
finished
win it?
first?
Oh well.
Shot 8.
That explains why their team did so good.
So, in case you guys don't know, Florida State's one of the best in the
He
country.
shot a 15 under. Second place shot
Holy cow.
10 under.
So,
Troy,
Florida
Matt,
State,
how about Troy?
Florida State finished 23 under as a team. Luke Clanton was 15 under of that.
The low round for the Jags was Dean Wilkin in the second round, shot a 66, 4 under. Stephon Jacobs shot 2 under on the tournament. And that would mean, and so did Dean Wilkin, 74 on round 1, 66, 68. A lot of names at the top.
Pretty cool to play with a guy that's got his tour card. He literally got it at the Cognizant Classic last weekend.
That's awesome.
That's really, really cool to
Imagine
see.
just being able to just, Monday and Tuesday, and we're out there in Tallahassee, just,
We're
on
just-
the golf course.
We're playing. And this weekend I'll be at I think he's playing at the Players. He may not be.
I wonder if he'll be. Nah, he won't be at the Masters. He might. I don't know.
He hasn't won one.
I was about to say,
he
you
has to
gotta
win
win
one.
one.
Or it'd be the amateur. He might be the amateur, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be playing in the Players. I didn't figure he was, but so he has his tour card.
Pretty cool story.
It is a very
Pretty
cool
cool
story. Can't believe he played in that tournament, but just read a headline that he dominated the Seminole Intercollegiate, which
Yes, he did.
won by 5 strokes. So
That's
whoever the
insane.
guy is in second has got to be really good too.
Shot 62
Yeah.
round 2. Pretty good.
Jeez. Whew. So that's some really good golf. So go out and support the women Jags this weekend as they play at home.
Shout out to Augusta for having the most pars out of everybody there.
Hey,
Shout out. All
there
right.
you go.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, well, I just jacked it up. All right, here we go. You're listening to the Sports Squad from Beringer Phoenix Media. So we'll talk about college basketball conference tournaments at the Division I level, the big time guys getting into conference tournament play. Does Georgia play tonight?
Yep, 9:30 tonight.
9:30 against Oklahoma.
Down with
They're
the
already
Sooners.
in the tournament. You win tonight, you won't have to play in the play-in game. Javen looked at it yesterday. They're projecting to play UConn in the first round right now. That's one you want to
And then
stay away
Duke
from.
after.
And then Duke
I
in the
think.
second round.
I think.
Duke versus Georgia. Stop.
I think they either lose tonight or they make the semis. I think that's the only two options. I think if
Who would be next in the SEC tournament? Is it like Tennessee or?
I don't think it's. I think
crazy.
the top teams get 2 buys.
Right. So they would play somebody that's waiting on them.
Yeah, it's like a 6 seed or something. Let's look at it. I looked at it the other day. They will play Kentucky, who they could also beat.
Right.
But then they have to beat Alabama to make the semis.
I mean, you got a pretty good
So I think if
route
they
to
beat
do it.
Kentucky, then they make the quarters. They'll probably move up. I think they could slide into an 8, depending on how those teams do in their conference tournament.
And Kentucky, as banged up as they are, you really like that matchup in this.
Yeah, I think
that's
the best matchup we could have had.
The only problem is you're facing an Oklahoma team who's not securely in the field, so they're going to be
they're playing for their lives,
right?
But it's going to be really good basketball. I mean, if you're not doing anything today,
you're not running 7 miles.
There's
later.
basketball all day. Starts at 1:00.
Yep, big day.
And then so that Georgia game's at 9:30. So 1:00 till 11:30. There's going to be basketball on. So
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Clemson doesn't play until tomorrow night. So they play. I thought they played at 7. I was going to go to Charlotte. It was $11 tickets. They play at 9:30. Can't do it.
No,
I would
can't.
love to do it, but
why not?
because I'm going to golf on Friday. So I don't
What
want
are
to
we
get back
doing
at
here?
3 a.m.
He's dedicated to the game. Why can he?
I don't want to get back
Yeah,
at
which
3
game?
a.m.
not the
time's your
Clemson
tea
game.
time? When's your tea time?
Oh, it's going to be middle of the day, but
There you go.
Okay, well,
I don't
see
want to
it.
go alone. I don't want to go alone.
He needs a date.
So
My girlfriend has to work on Friday,
don't
so
like-
she doesn't want to go.
you don't like doing things alone? You don't just sit down at a restaurant and eat by yourself?
Okay, I like doing things alone. I don't like sitting at a restaurant by myself.
I'll do it all
I'll
day.
do that.
I'll do it all
Dude,
day.
I sat in Costco food court the other day and just had some pizza. and
I'd
just-
rather go through the drive-through and sit out in the parking lot and eat in my vehicle.
I'll
That's
do
what
that
I
too
really
sometimes.
do. Like
But I don't mind eating
sometimes I
inside.
just watch the cars go by on the road. That's fun to me. I don't know. Especially
you
in
a
Augusta
dog or
traffic.
something? You a dog?
I almost got in a wreck the other day. Somebody come off the exit and she had no intentions of making sure she could get over. She just
You have no
came
excuse
over.
not to go to that
Yeah.
Clemson game.
Who
Who do they play?
They play the winner of SMU and Syracuse.
See, there you go.
It'll be a fun game.
Watch them play the Qs.
Yeah,
The
probably gotta watch
Bayheimless
the Qs.
Qs.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
already
man.
beat them. I still may go. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, you're not going to be able to go the rest of the weekend
I know.
because the Jags are going to be playing on Sunday.
I know. I want to go on. In a perfect world, I had a private jet and I could go on Friday and then be in Columbus by Saturday at 12. But
We'll get on that.
the problem is
There might
not
be
even that.
a
Go to
team that has a
Charlotte
private
tomorrow
jet
night,
here.
come
There might
back.
be a team.
Take a nap, play golf, go to sleep, wake up at. You'd have to wake up at 8:00 and leave to go to Columbus.
Sounds like a
sometime.
pretty fun weekend, honestly.
Sounds like a party.
Weekend of adventure.
It does.
You only spend $11 plus gas.
I just don't understand
food.
why the semifinals.
Well, do you get to wait? Do you have to drive to Columbus? You can't ride on the team bus.
We can't, but they're leaving on. They have to practice twice or whatever. NCAA
Leaving
rules, so they're
tomorrow.
leaving tomorrow.
Sorry.
So I have class tomorrow with a very important class to my heart, and I just can't.
Yeah, what
miss
class is that?
Oh, it's so important.
Yeah, what class is that?
Me and Justin just love that class. We're not going to say what class it is.
No
That's
reason to
okay.
say that. It's our immaculate grid class. We
Yeah. We just go on
strengthen
computer
our
and-
baseball history.
Oh, very
during
nice.
class.
Very
it's a
nice.
fun one.
And have absolutely no idea what's going on in there too. So
No, I
What a
don't know that
time.
I've turned anything in, Jamin either. So we may not be at the graduation
Jackson
ceremony.
is dying in there right now. He's dying.
You guys may be walking and like, where's Jamin and Justin?
we'll be in the stands cheering.
But anyways, so that's all going on in conference basketball this weekend. Be sure, like Jamin said, it's going 12 hours a day. This is warming you up for what's to come next weekend in March Madness and the first round of the tournament.
So excited.
Be sure to tune in. Last topic, MLB. So this is something that's just been bothering me ever since.
I've been waiting for this all
First
morning.
I
off,
can read it from his computer, and it's just a funny. He wrote it out so funny.
it just drives me crazy that the MLB is opening in Tokyo. I think I had a segment on it last year when it opened in Korea. Why in the world are we opening the greatest sport in America in Japan? Why do Dodger fans and Cubs fans, why do Dodger fans have to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch their team play on opening day? That is absolute bogus. Like, imagine if the Braves played at 6 a.m. for their first game of the season.
In London or something.
I probably just wouldn't watch on it. I don't think it's that serious.
As someone who doesn't
I
like
think it's
LA,
the same reason that like the NFL plays games in
But that's
Europe,
different.
and the
See,
NBA
they can
plays
do that
games in
in
Europe.
a regular schedule and play at 9:30. Why are we playing at 6 a.m. our time? Make
because
them stay up.
the NFL's playing in Europe and we're playing in
I understand that, but what I'm
a
saying
different time
is
zone. It's going to be a different day that they're playing.
we're going over
Across
there.
the date line.
We're going over there. They should have to stay
Throw in
up.
the game.
Growing the game. How about we stop blacking out games?
Okay, there's
He's got a point.
Yeah.
worldwide.
can't we-
Worldwide.
Cooking
The
right now.
whole
I don't know if you know this.
is
There's a
it's
guy.
about
There's a
money.
guy that plays for the Dodgers whose name is Shohei Ohtani,
Yes.
really? I never heard of him.
who is Jesus of Japan,
Exactly.
and that's why they're playing.
And guess what? They're going to go to the game and they're going to cheer for Shohei Ohtani. And after Shohei Ohtani leaves Japan, they're going to watch Dodger games. But they don't care about MLB. They're going to go back to cheering for the Dragons and the Tigers. They don't care about the
They
Dodgers.
care about Shohei Ohtani.
They care about Shohei.
Is that a real
They
team,
don't-
or are we
yes,
like-
the
They're
Dragons
gonna,
are
they're
real.
gonna, yes, they are.
Yeah, and they got to take on the
Dragons and the
Samurai,
Tigers are
I'm sure,
real.
too, don't
We
they?
actually do immaculate grids for the Japanese baseball league too.
No, we don't. But after Shohei leaves, they only care about Shohei. They might care a little bit about
Shohei's
Imanaga.
the face of the Major League
Jesus of
Baseball.
Japan.
Unfortunately.
That's
Hold on,
fine,
back
but
to
we
that.
shouldn't cater to.
That
he
was in his
came here.
contract. I got to play at least one game in Japan every season.
And that's bogus. He
That
should
is
have been able to sign
crazy.
it.
It wasn't in his contract.
I
was
know
just
it
making that
wasn't.
up.
I'm
Because
sure
they
it
haven't
might have
played
been.
one
Knowing the
before.
MLB, how much they absolutely love him.
They're trying to go to the game. I think they fixed the whole TV thing. Maybe they fixed the whole TV thing. They
What are
finally
they
got
growing
the
the
money
game for?
figured out.
I feel like
Because
Japan already has a lot of
It's fixed
baseball
to
players
watch
over
the
there.
Braves, but what if I want to get MLB
Well, the reason
TV?
they're going to Japan is because if they played in a lot of the major baseball countries of the world in the Caribbean and South America, it probably would be like
y'all are really
the
looking
players
into
probably
this.
wouldn't agree to it. It'd be like a safety problem.
I think it's just
If they go to
money.
Venezuela or Colombia or Cuba,
It's fine. It's
the
just
DR
money.
in Puerto
It's
Rico would
money.
be fine.
Ronald Acuna would want to go back home and open the season there.
Rob
it's
Manfred is not
Venezuela.
putting his players in Venezuela.
No.
Not right now.
They wouldn't make it out.
It's all about money.
But I mean,
just
they
want
did play
money.
an NFL game in Brazil, so that's kind of crazy.
Did you see that they're
too.
trying to go to Australia too for the NFL?
Australia would be fun.
That would be a cool
That would
one.
be cool.
But you can't put players at risk of safety. So
My-
that's
my
why you're not
question-
going to take
Not
them
the
to Venezuela.
spiders.
If we really want to grow, if we really want to grow the game, what we play 162. We have
Exactly. You're going to get 161 Dodger games in America.
160. It's 2 games. in
Unfortunately.
Japan.
Okay,
Honestly,
160.
can we just move them to Japan
Why?
and we never have to deal with them again?
I'm on board with that.
The Tokyo
I like
Dodgers.
this idea.
Tokyo what if we just
Dodgers.
took a week out of June and we sent 6 teams to Japan?
No.
Yes. No. This is a better
already
idea.
take a week out of
series, like
July.
a whole series.
Yes. You play a whole series
It
and
wouldn't be July. July's like the best
no,
month
you
for baseball.
take it June, and that way you're in the middle of the season, so you don't care as much as opening day. The only times you really like super into it is opening day.
Well, they already do a thing where they take like a group of MLB guys and put them all on one team, and they play like the Japanese All Stars too.
Well, that's World Baseball Classic.
No, it's not.
When did they do that?
They've done it several times. They haven't done it in recent history, but they played
And what is recent history?
a group of. I'll look it up.
It sounds
That's
like
for the World
they
Base- or the
decided that it
Olympics.
didn't make enough money. MLB is all about money right now. That's all they care about.
That's all they care about.
I think that's
anyway.
what everybody's
Wow.
worried about. It's just money, money,
I
money,
just
money,
don't
money.
understand why in the world.
All right. The MLB Japan All Star Series
Oh my! I'm
is an irregular.
tired of
It's an
Japan.
irregular end of season tour of Japan made by an All Star team from Major League Baseball since 1986. The last time it happened, 2018.
And it should never happen
Best
again.
of 6. They go over there and play a best of 6 series.
And there's a reason it was shut down.
And guess what? Last time they played best of 6, 2018, Japan won 5 games. MLB won 1.
Who was on that
Because
team?
we don't care.
Who was on that team? I was going to say, who's on that team?
Oh, it's not like the faces of baseball, but it's good players that go. It's hard to win in Japan. The series has featured
Luke
many
Ford
great
was on the
players:
team.
Barry Bonds, King Griffey Jr., Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Ichiro Suzuki, David Ortiz, Sammy Sosa, David Wright, Jose Altuve, Robinson Cano, Manny Ramirez.
And I think that's a
Robinson
better idea
Bonds
than
was a
starting.
juicer. He's going to win.
That's better than starting the season over there. I'd rather them do that.
Is it a disgrace to the great American sport to start the
is.
American
It's America's
sport
pastime,
It
but
is American.
in
It is
a
a
totally
disgrace.
different
you gotta
country?
think about how much money Shohei
That
Ohtani
is-
brings to this
But
league.
that, no,
I'm
this is my
tired of
problem.
hearing this
This is my
Shohei
problem.
Ohtani.
I mean,
He's
you
no
can,
better-
you can be tired of hearing it, but he has a whole nation bringing revenue to the Major League Baseball.
This is the problem's not them going.
You know how many
I don't
Bally
mind them
subscriptions are
going.
in Japan?
Zero. I don't mind them going to Tokyo. I just wish we didn't open the season there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, the season needs to be open in America with a big American flag
Well,
and
that's
fighter
the
jets
good thing is
flying
it's not
over.
the Braves.
And
It's not the Braves, and it's never going to be
But
the
when
Braves.
it becomes, what if it becomes the Braves?
It's
one
not
day?
going to be the Braves.
It is one day.
We're not,
it will
signing,
be.
we're not signing Shohei.
next thing we know, they're going to open it up in Germany because
When's the
Germany
last-
has a surge in
when's the last
baseball.
time
We don't
when-
sign Japanese
Exactly,
people because
we
we don't
don't-
want to go to Tokyo. We're right about it.
I don't
we
think the
wanna
Braves
go
would
over
want
there.
Yeah, we
You
want to
just
go to
don't want to spend
Venezuela
money on
instead.
unproven products.
I don't think
Alright,
the Braves would do that.
Pause. Looking at the analytics here, we have one listener in Japan. So if that one
Oh,
person is
no.
listening right
Nice
now,
job, Justin.
we are very sorry.
Nice job, Justin.
Your true feelings,
I'm
but
tired
it
of
is not
Japan.
personal.
Nice job, Justin. There
We
you
just
go.
lost a listener.
This
Think
has
about our
nothing-
fan base.
This has nothing to do with Japan.
You just said you got tired of
Everything to do with
Japan.
Japan.
We don't need to go to Japan.
Listen, I hope you enjoy the Dodgers and Cubs because I.
What if
think
our
we should
listener's
keep
not
going
even a
out.
baseball fan? You may not.
You see,
may not be a
there's
baseball
probably
fan.
there's more than just baseball fans.
What if
in
he is?
Japan. If he is, I hope
Or
you
she.
enjoy
When are
it.
we-
Or
she?
she.
Oh.
We're not discriminating. You can enjoy baseball in Japan, just not on my opening day. How about that? Is that?
Some would say it's the best baseball
To
country
be
in
fair,
the world.
would you have watched
It's not.
Dodgers?
They won the World Baseball
we don't
Classic.
care about
They
that
have the
crap.
best. They have the best player in the league.
To be
How many World Series championships have they won?
They're not in the major leagues.
Bring it on, Dragons. We want all the Like, I'm sorry. There's just not a greater country
Would you have
for
watched
baseball.
the opening day game anyway if it was in America?
Oh, I'm going to be up. Yes, I'm going to be up at 6 a.m. watching
I'm
it.
not.
But I don't think I
You
should be
couldn't
up.
See, why?
pay me
Yeah,
to watch
why?
the Dodgers.
I hate
You
the
just love
Dodgers.
Shohei that much. You want to watch him.
And I don't want to watch the Cubs either because, Dan's being.
The only team I'm watching
Dance
opening
fraud.
day is probably going to be the Braves,
Exactly.
unless there's like a game on ESPN or Fox.
If
It
it's a
is
good
on
game,
ESPN
I'll
at
watch.
6 a.m. on Of
course it's on
March
ESPN.
18th.
There
I
you
just
go.
don't see
Tune
the
in.
point in
6
waking
a.m.
up for that to watch two teams that I don't
I
care
woke up
about
last
playing.
year and watched the Padres and Dodgers out in Seoul, so I'll wake up this year and do it. I mean, it's baseball. I'll
More
probably
power
They're going
to
to
you.
throw the Dodgers out there every opening day.
So you're gonna hate on it, but then you're gonna support it by
Yeah,
giving
because
them a
it's
viewer.
bogus that I've gotta get up
But
that
now they're
early.
gonna see analytics and be like, oh, look at all these people watching.
No,
I don't think
put
they
on
know.
we see this guy in Georgia's watching it right now, so that means he's
Most
he
views-
I'll put a
loves it.
VPN on
most,
my MacBook.
most views ever on an MLB opening day game, maybe.
I hope
No.
not.
No way.
I hope not.
No way.
I just think
I
there's
think
a lot
you're
of
gonna- I think
there's a
there's
lot
a
of
shot.
American
Dodger
sport. It
haters
needs to be in
You know
America
how many-
on American
You know how many
grounds.
people live in Japan?
I don't care.
A ton.
You know when you
They're
call
all
it,
gonna
when
be
you-
seen.
That's scientific
The
fact.
only person I care about in Japan is our great listener that is listening
I wonder what
from
Donald
Japan.
Trump
That's
would
the
think
only-
about this.
Oh, we're not going to get into that.
Where are we going with this?
But I don't agree with opening. Like if the NFL opened in Europe, I would have a problem with it because it is America's game.
Or get ready because it's gonna happen. at some point.
They have a league. Let them have their league.
All right.
Shohei should have stayed if he wanted to play in Japan. He should have stayed and played there forever. Like if you want to be there that bad,
Well, he's
go.
not going to make $600 million playing in the
Then that's his own
in
fault.
TV.
He's got
Could he
so many
gamble, though?
fans.
He might be able to gamble in Japan, though.
Yeah, gambling might be
Didn't his boy,
reasonable.
Wait, that wasn't
didn't
him
his boy get
gambling.
locked
That
up
was
for
him
that?
gambling.
It was not
You
him
know it
gambling.
was.
It was
That was
not
him
him
gambling.
gambling. It was not him.
His
gambling.
interpreter took the blame, and
Poor Ipe.
Yeah.
His interpreter interpreted his voice on calls.
I don't. Yeah, I
it
don't.
was just how convenient.
All right.
I just.
Shohei's on the phone
sorry,
just talking
Just
to
a
the bookies.
shit on Shohei day.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is.
The face
If
of the
you
league.
if you take Kyle
Possibly-
Tucker, and it's the same situation, you bet your bottom dollar he is going down with the Flames. He is
He
100%.
didn't do it.
You don't know that.
He didn't do it.
Of course they're gonna say he didn't.
Well,
He's the face of the major
They
leagues.
did a whole investigation.
Investigation.
The dude was drawing millions of dollars out of Shohei's account without asking.
I think it's safe to say that.
That's really easy to do.
I think it's safe to say
I
that
think
MLB
this is
very
these
loose
are
on
terrible
cheaters.
takes. How are they loose on cheaters? Pete Rose has
How can you
Pete Rose has
withdraw $1 million
4,000
and not know?
How can you do that? Because you have $500 million in the bank
I get
account.
that.
And they're not gonna
And you-
just let
and you
Joe
trust-
Schmo get a hold of that.
That's his best friend. It's the dude he's with.
My ass.
What are you talking about? It's the only person in America that he is around every day. That dude follows him around everywhere because he doesn't speak English. Like that was his friend that he trusted.
Perfect person to take the blame.
The perfect person
Exactly.
to steal money from Shohei and gamble.
Did you see Ippei? Did he look like he would steal money from anybody? Ippei's a great guy.
You can't
can
say
look
that
at
MLB is
him.
lax on that when arguably the greatest hitter of all time is not in the Hall of Fame because he gambled on 50 games.
Okay, well that's a different story. Pete Rose should be a Hall of Famer. He did it while he was coaching, not while he was
I
playing.
think Pete Rose should be a Hall of Famer too, but I don't think you should pin this
He
blame
got
on
parted
Shohei.
into the Hall of Fame last week.
Yeah, he's still not going to be in the Hall.
because he died before.
He's not going to be in the Hall.
Rest in peace.
I think these are crazy allegations against Shohei when you absolutely know nothing about the
But I
investigation
mean,
in the
neither do
case.
you. In retrospect, you really don't.
I mean, no, I wasn't there, but I think that's crazy to accuse the man of
So
that.
really, the source
I
of all
still
this
saw
is
a picture of him at a college basketball game. That man was sweating a parlay. I know he was. I can look at that face and tell because I do it all the time.
All right.
We do not gamble here. That's just a crazy thing to say. But Ohtani, there's a lot of stuff going on with Ohtani.
He could be the greatest baseball player of all time,
And
we're
that's
mad.
why-
And we're mad that he's getting to play in Japan, in his homeland.
He should have stayed there if he wanted to play in Japan.
the American sports should open up in America.
It's
That's
not
all
the
I'm
same
saying.
market. It's not the same market. It's not the same money,
Okay, side note.
and it's not the best players in the world.
Thoughts on the ABS system?
You didn't have to try to change the subject, Avery, but that is good.
I don't like it. I'm trying to change.
Have you seen it? Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I like it. I don't have
I'm
a problem
not a
with it.
fan.
As long as they keep it like one inning.
Yeah, I don't want it to get to a point where we're just using it because we're going to lose it after the inning. Like, if it's a strike three call, it's right down the middle. Let's not waste the time and call it.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
I get that, but it's not like it's not like it's like NFL review. Like it takes 4 seconds to pop up.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I think
that's going to happen.
I
That's
think
always going
I
to
don't think
happen.
they'll have it. I mean, they're not going to have it this year. There's no way. But because they don't even have it in all spring training facilities yet. But I don't mind it. I think it's going to help. I just think that it does take some of the human out of the game because, like, think about you're in Game 7 and you throw one on the black and like let's just throw back to Tyler Matzik and he celebrates and that stadium is about to fall down. Hold on, don't go off the field yet. We got to look up at the board and make sure it was a strike. Like that's the kind of stuff
I think it
So
gets
you think
takes
it's
away
so do
those
you think,
moments.
Yeah, do you think it's going to take away like the credibility of like everything prior to that? Like it was strictly like humans calling it. None of this,
and yeah,
none of this
there's
technology
some
stuff.
bad calls, but I'm just thinking what it takes away some of the excitement. Like Sid Bream, if that happens with a replay, we have to hold on. We can't celebrate. We're going to the World Series. We have to make sure he was safe. Like I just think some of the
I mean, obviously they want more offense because that's what people want to watch. I think it helps hitters because it's never been harder for a hitter to have success in this league because pitchers are so good. So I think that's an attempt to maybe bring some more offense.
See,
to the
now I
game.
saw, throwing it back to Pete Rose, I saw on my feed, it was like he did an interview at one time and was like, he thinks that it's like the league now. He was like, I don't think it's the same as when I played because it's so much easier. Like they encourage more hits, so it's easier for batters to get more hits. And he was talking about the strike zone where it's like they favor hitters.
I mean, yeah, I think that's what any sport. Older guys are going to say that it's easier to play. I mean, I don't think the average starting pitcher when he was playing was throwing 97 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So,
But
I mean, I think it's easy.
I think he had a point
It's
a
easy to
little
say that. I think he does have a point, but it's easy also to say that as someone who has 4,000 hits and is like the greatest contact hitter of all time.
Correct.
So, I don't know. I think it's a little dodgy, but if you're like a traditionalist of baseball and you think that the human element of having umpires is what makes the game so great, then you're probably not going to be happy with it. But I mean, that's part of it. every league changes rules every year. So I'm sure the basketball traditionalists don't like the NBA because nobody likes the NBA.
And open the season in Japan. I'm just saying. That's just my final take.
For anybody that's listening to this, I don't think Justin's very excited that it's in Japan.
I'll be watching.
I think we've found that out.
Anyway, I did say that was last talk, but I did want to mention the NFL free agency, which has been going crazy lately. DK to the Steelers.
Justin is doing the happy dance. Just remember that, when you're up at 6 a.m. watching that game.
We just have no one to throw it to him yet. But
you might have Rodgers, or you'll have Danger Russ.
You don't want Rodgers. Stick with Russ.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stick with Russ and just hope he can.
I don't think Russ was that bad.
He wasn't. No,
he played pretty solid.
It's more of the offensive scheme than it is Russ. It's just not a scheme that's going to favor quarterbacks.
Najee's gone.
Yeah.
Najee's gone. Draft a running back.
I was gonna say I don't think it's that.
The running back class is pretty deep this year. You guys can pick up a really solid back in like the second.
You could have
round.
a new running back every year if you wanted to.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
No, yeah, especially if you don't just have a guy like Barkley, then everybody's
There's running backs walking down the street right now.
Yeah,
yeah. One of my Steelers friends is praying that the Steelers draft Jaxon Garner. I'm like, I don't think he's a good fit up there.
I'd rather draft Genty or
y'all ain't getting Genty. Cowboys.
I'd draft the UNC guy.
Oh, Hampton, Omari and Hampton.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that either. He's a big guy. Joey Bosa got released.
That was kind of crazy.
That was kind of crazy. 1 year, 12. That's a steal.
He was supposed to go to the 49ers, and he said, "Nah, I ain't going over here. I'm going to the Bills."
Play for
49ers are out of money.
Yeah,
they're dropping everybody.
They are.
The 49ers are about to crash and burn.
Then Grady Jarrett.
This brings me back. Okay, this is a debate I had with my roommate last night.
Okay.
The NFL, because they have a salary cap, as a GM, like John Lynch, the GM of the 49ers, like he gave his team their window is passed. Like he had his window when they were so good. They made the Super Bowl a couple times. They made the NFC Championship a lot, and that was their window. And now, since Brock Purdy's off his rookie contract, they're going to end up having to pay him. They're having to offload, so they're kind of going to have to rebuild. That's for any NFL team. Like it comes in cycles, comes in waves as your team gets old. So they're dumping all these older guys to try and they have 10 draft picks. They're trying to get young again, and I feel like that should be brought back to all leagues because Major League Baseball is not like that anymore because they just have the luxury tax. I think you put a strict salary cap, then teams, just like in the 2000s and 2010s, before teams had owners that were willing to spend billions of dollars on a salary every year, teams had, like the Braves had to rebuild. The Braves are always going to rebuild because they're not going to be willing to spend that money. But like the Dodgers, Yankees, Astros, I mean, the Astros are a little bit right now. But like there's teams that are never going to have to rebuild. The Dodgers are just going to be good forever now and the Mets because you can just spend as much money as you want.
I agree with
that. So I think that should be brought back because I feel like that makes the NFL the only true the only true even playing field league that there is. I don't know. I have a problem with the MLB with Manfred not growing some nuts and putting a cap on it. Because even if it's a big cap, because you already have where you can grandfather some guys in, but it rubs me the wrong way that
when you're
the
first off when you're
in Major
the
League
Dodgers
Baseball
and have all that money and you're able to defer money, it just creates.
It's just
it's very that's as unfair as
it's very lucrative, but it's allowed.
It's baseball.
It makes it like there's no strategy.
Right. You just buy.
You're throwing money.
There's no roster strategy.
You're throwing money at the best.
We'll
player.
pay you and we'll pay you. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's
they just get everybody.
It's bogus. And then Grady Jarrett cut in Atlanta, which
sad. I was questioning it. I was like, I didn't think he played terribly bad.
I just think that's a money thing.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean,
and then the Falcons lost that super good O-line guy to the Bears.
They're still gonna have to pay half Kirk contract wherever he ends up going.
There's a report that he's supposed to be a Brown by the weekend.
He wants to be a starter,
and supposedly we'll see if the Browns pick up the rest of that contract. But we'll see.
We're still gonna have to pay half.
The Browns have Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
The Browns are good. I'd be cool with Jaynes if I was the Browns.
As a Browns fan,
I knew this was coming.
Riding with Kenny Pickett. Just get Deshaun out there.
What about Jaynes?
James is going anyway, I think.
Jaynes is a good character. I wish he was still on the team. Pretty sure he was.
He's a good. He's like
gone.
a good motivational guy.
Jaynes is a good quarterback.
He's been doing a lot of.
He's going to be
media.
a phenomenal sideline reporter one day.
Yeah.
You see him in Louisiana?
He's going to coach the Knowles after the surveillance part.
Yeah.
In talks with the 49ers and Chargers.
Who?
Winston.
Oh, he's going to be a backup.
And this says something about the Giants.
I feel like even if he's a backup,
linked, so he could play.
he's
in
like
New York.
he's a good hype guy.
Giants are drafting a quarterback, so I mean, he could be like a little
Maybe he could lighten Shador up a little bit.
I was about to say Shador's going to New
Mentor.
York, probably.
Shador.
Dude, if he goes
When's
to
the draft?
if he goes to New
April?
York,
Is
he's
the draft
crashing.
in April?
Yeah, he's
Usually at the
crashing,
end of
dude.
April.
I don't think he's as
Like 20th.
I don't think he's as good as everybody
I don't-
cracks him
yeah.
up to be.
Who, Shador?
Yeah.
Well, we've already discovered that.
I think he's an elite thrower of the football.
He
I
is
don't
a
know
great
about.
thrower of football. He just doesn't make great decisions as far as in the pocket.
You either learn,
As- if
you either
he-
learn or you don't learn.
if he starts his rookie year, I think
It could go bad
It goes
fast
bad,
because
yeah.
the Giants are bad on the offensive line. I mean,
yeah, I think it.
I
We'll
can't wait
see.
when they do draft him because they're gonna draft him. I can't wait to see all that. Him and Malik Neighbors get ready for the new duo in New York, and it's gonna be.
you're
So
going to see
are the
it.
Vikings just rolling with
JJ?
off of,
think they
off of
should.
an ACL?
I think
guess
they
so.
I heard a
should.
report. Like I don't think they'll do it, but they were like open to trade talks or like dealing him, and I was
They
like,
went 14-3 with Sam Darnold. Like they can make anybody decent. I would.
I mean, I knew they weren't going to
100%.
pay Sam. He just got paid $100 million. But
So dumb.
to go to Seattle.
When I watch-
Seattle, dude.
When you watch that Week 17 game and you watch that first playoff game, there's no way that man should be making that much money. He was just in a great system for him. That's why I think McCarthy's going to be. the
well,
guy
my
in
thing is like if you're going to offload all these people and make all these trades to dump your roster and get young, I don't know why you would spend $100 million on a quarterback, but to each their own.
Yeah. So anything else NFL wise? I mean,
Bears are signing everybody.
There's building the Great Wall of Chicago up there.
The North's going to get even better.
Yeah.
Cowboys aren't doing anything, so I'm just
The
focused on
better
baseball
North right now. That's crazy
Falcons
to think
haven't
about.
really-
Cowboys.
That's the
signed
better-
everybody.
that's
have
the better-
signed a couple linebackers. That's about
That's
it.
the better North division now. Last year and this year.
Yeah.
Or maybe this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And
I'm just
Debo
looking at-
to the Commanders. I don't think.
I don't think
how much
These
If you're,
guys-
if you're the Bengals, I don't know why you're not making that many moves.
he was so injury prone this year.
Dude, if
I
you're the
just don't
Bengals,
think
why have you not re-signed
You gotta
Jamar
find
Chase?
it.
Like
they have.
Well, I thought what was his contract
I
then?
think the question was T.
The question was T. Higgins. He got a franchise tag, so he's there for another year.
Yeah, but what about? I thought Jamar.
Jamar got the contract.
What
He set the record. Whatever. I mean, he beat out. He wanted $1 more than Justin Jefferson. That was all that was about because they're buddies. Which is
They're just not
insane.
doing anything on defense, and I don't.
No, they're bad on defense. They're about to trade Trey Hendrickson, which
They
is
just lost their entire defensive line.
yeah. I don't know what they got going. They need an offensive line. They need a lot.
And you can't even
when
be
you
excited
can't
about the
pay.
Falcons.
You just can't in the NFL. You can't pay Burrow and Chase and try to win. I mean,
Someone's
you're
gotta
going
go.
to set records, but you're just not going to win big time games because you're not going to stop.
But in the Major League Baseball, we have Shohei and Mookie and all those guys on one
Shohei.
No,
team.
it's
Mookie,
deferred. It's
Freddie.
okay. It's deferred.
Will
It's
Smith,
Snell,
Snell,
all
Glasnow,
of the pitchers,
Yamamoto,
every single pitcher
Sasaki.
ever. But
Who else?
you can't pay two elite receivers and a quarterback in the NFL, or it kills you.
You got a point
Different
there.
leagues.
Man. You got a point there.
Different leagues.
Crazy.
They're going to have to do something. I think
I
the
think
next
like the
time,
biggest strategy in the NFL that makes it good is like if you're gonna make a Super Bowl run, unless you have a generational quarterback, like you have to get lucky on drafts and draft skill position guys and have them on their rookie deals when they're really good, and that's your window. And then when that window's passed, you're done.
Or just be willing to. I mean, you don't have a Tom Brady every time, but someone who's willing to take a pay cut so you can pay other players because you want to win so bad.
Yeah, but
But that's not gonna happen.
who's
People
doing
Shout
that?
out MJ.
I'm probably not doing that.
I would. It's
I'm
millions
Josh
of
Allen.
dollars.
Josh Allen's gonna make it to the AFC Championship regardless anyway.
When we get to 50 million and
And that's all I
60
need.
million, there
You
ain't
set
much of
me
a
for
difference
life.
for me.
And I'm that good of a player.
See, but like I feel like if you're in those shoes, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, but
Like
I think
it's a little bit different.
You can buy anything you need with $50 million.
Yeah.
Anything.
I think it's a little bit different.
It's the thing.
Javen's a
It's the
sellout.
thing for me.
I'm not a
when
sellout.
I
I'm
was
just
talking-
saying once you get to that level and then you have a chance to go to that level, I think it's a little bit different
I
in
don't
your
see
head.
much of a difference.
See, okay, look, I was talking about this with my Steelers friend the other day because he's talking about like he really wants Rodgers. He's like, I want Rodgers to come to Pitt. Now I know you're not a fan, but this is just me explaining it to you. I was saying that like it depends what Rodgers wants because I think New York will offer him some crazy
York
deal
who?
for like 2 years. Like, huh?
New York who?
Giants. Like he's not coming back to the Jets. Like it's either between the Giants and the Steelers, And it's going to come down to what he wants. He should obviously go to the Steelers. They have a way better roster, and at least they compete.
As long
but
as
the Giants are going to throw so much money at him to just have him there.
It's going to be the choice of
It's
the
like, what does
Steelers
he
aren't going
want?
to overpay him.
No,
Because
the Steelers will pay him for
Well, the Steelers can win with below average quarterback play, and that I don't think they're getting that much better than below
do you
average
think they
quarterback play.
I don't. Okay, this is me just spitballing numbers, but I think he would.
Justin, when you say win, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like make the first round of the playoffs, lose out like every other year?
I'm sorry. Did the Browns even were they eliminated by week 8? Did you like?
Well, I mean, the good thing for
W ready,
Jackson
babe.
is like he never really had hope. I would rather not have hope than have hope.
I can agree with that.
You go on a
that's
4-game
the worst
losing
ever.
streak at the end of the season. There's no hope in the
I
first
was disappointed
round,
after
but, I mean,
week
still,
1, so I didn't have anything to worry about.
Man, I don't know, man. The Falcons.
There are
Never had hope.
about 20
I mean, it did have hope.
about 29
Falcons
teams
hurt.
in the
I was gonna say,
NFL.
Falcons hurt y'all a little
There's
bit.
about 29 teams in the NFL that would love to do what the Steelers do every year and be in contention every single
29 teams.
year. Yes.
The Cowboys used to do that all the time.
I don't think
that didn't get me
I mean,
anything.
I think there's more than 20. I think there's less than 29.
The Eagles, Chiefs, and
The Niners, the Bills.
the Niners didn't even make the playoffs last year. The Bills.
The Niners have had a crazy run the last 6 years. They just hadn't had a bowl to show for it.
So maybe there's 27 teams, but I mean, it's still the majority of the NFL.
Huh?
Anyways.
I throw the Packers historically in there too.
Yeah, but I mean, you see what they've done since Rodgers left. I mean, first round and out once.
Would you rather be first round and out or first round and out,
That's
Jackson?
What?
this always winds up turning on me.
This is always it's always
Good
a
answer.
The Browns would
2v1.
take
I
any
thought you were
playoff.
going to say that.
The Browns would take making the playoffs one time every 10 years.
Poor
Like,
Myles Garrett just got lied to in that contract.
As long as we don't play the Chiefs and then get cheated like we did in the AFC.
oh God, oh God.
There we go.
Yeah, Myles Garrett was like, I can't play for the Browns anymore, and then they were like, well, here's whatever
I'm
want.
I'm done.
I love being a Brown.
I'm done buying into these reports. They
Hey,
said
Jaynes
DK
said
wanted to go
Everybody
play.
wants to live in
talks.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Who don't want to live in Cleveland?
Yeah, okay, I have thought about this yesterday, Jackson. What in the world infatuated you with Ohio? I've been to Ohio. I've been to
It's the
Cincinnati.
armpit of America.
So I grew up wrestling and I went up there for a camp and got to meet a bunch of the guys on the Ohio State wrestling team. And then that's how I became a fan.
That's
And
a
so you
wholesome
just-
story.
Good story.
Wow.
And
It's a
then you
wholesome
just
story.
started saying, you know what? I'm choosing to be a Browns fan.
If you're going to do it, you might as well do it all the way.
I mean, I agree.
Guardians.
I agree.
We
I was-
drafted Baker. I was all in on that. And then we got Odell. So I was a hype beast, but now I'm all in.
He
Well, I mean,
hopped in
I'm
and now
glad
he just
you're
can't
all
hop
in.
out.
I'm glad you're all in.
You're
But I'll
loyal.
say
He's
this.
dedicated. That's
I'll say
fair.
this. Why not the Guardians? Like, they're the best thing got up there besides Ohio State.
Are you a baseball guy? bro?
I've never been like a big baseball fan, so I've just kind of stuck with the Braves.
Justin's
I've
gonna-
never been too invested.
What about
You can't say
what about
stuff with the
basketball?
Braves. That hurts my feelings.
I have no care in the world for
You're
them.
not a
Okay.
Cavs fan?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not a Cavs fan? The
You weren't
Cavs are
happy with
good.
LeBron?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm not a Hawks fan either.
He has no affiliation in the NBA.
I'm kind of that way.
Respect.
I can't lie. I
Respect
don't-
to
I don't
you.
really watch it.
But you can't say you're stuck with the Braves. That kind of hurts my feelings. You can't be stuck with how awesome they are. Anyways, thank everyone for listening today. A big thanks to all our panelists for coming on the show. We'll be back next week with another episode. The Sports Squad is a production of Bellringer Phoenix Media. Jasmine Garcia is the TVC Lab coordinator. Jaxon Garner is the producer. Dr. David Bulla is the coordinating producer. We are coming to you from the TVC Lab in University Hall on the Somerville campus of Augusta University. The opinions stated here are those of the individuals, not Augusta University. You can find us at aubellringer.com, on the Augusta Press website, on Spotify, and on social media. Please send your comments to bellringerproduction@gmail.com. Have a great day and listen again soon. This is Justin Gray saying so long. Back at you next week. We're out.